Welcome to today's video lecture. Today we are going to see lesson number 4, current, electricity and magnetism. So before we start with the topic, let me tell you what is an atom. Atom is the smallest particle of most of the substance. Though it is very smallest, tiny particle in modern time, scientists, on the basis of experiment, they explained about the structure of atom, internal structure of atom, and proved that atom consists of three constituents, that is proton, positive charge particle present in the nucleus of the atom, neutron, neutral particle that is also present in the nucleus of the atom, and electrons, that is negatively charged particle revolving around the nucleus. So these are the three constituents of an atom. In the beginning of this topic, the first question is asked, which constituents are present in an atom? You can see the structure of atom shown on the screen, where you will come to know that atom is consist of three important constituents, that is proton, neutron and electron. And atom has same number of positively charged proton and negatively charged electron. So an object does not show any charge though its atom contain charged particle. Though the atom contain charged particles, the object do not show any charges. You can see the many objects in our surrounding. The objects are shown you on the screen. You see that this object does not show any charges, though its atom contain charged particles. Therefore, we can say that plenty of electrical charge is filled in the object around us. So electrical charge is filled in the object around us. Okay, now we'll see the question. What will happen if the glass rod is rubbed on the silk cloth? What will happen if a glass rod is rubbed on the silk cloth? Now see, when a glass rod is rubbed against the silk cloth, it gets electrically charged. When a glass rod rubbed against the silk cloth, it gets electrically charged. As electrical charge is created when electrons are transferred or removed from one object, because electrons have a negative charge. When they are added to an object, it becomes negatively charged. When electrons are removed from an object, it becomes positively charged. Okay, so when we rub the glass rod on a silk cloth, it will acquire a positive charge. Okay, next question. What are static and moving charges? Okay, when all the atoms of an object acquire electrical charge, the object as a whole become electrically charged. When the charge does not move, the object is said to acquire static charge. Static means state of rest. The charge which is acquired, it will remain on the object. It does not move. The charge which does not move but remain on the state of rest is called as static charge. Static means state of rest. Now, if the charge moves, then it is said that object have moving charge. If the charge moves, then it is said that object has moving charge. Moving charges get transferred from one object to other, and these moving charges are negatively charged. They are negatively charged. So moving negative charge particles are nothing but they are the electrons. They are the electrons. So these negative charge particles are made to flow. They are made to flow due to the rubbing. Electricity be made to flow like water flowing from higher level to lower level. Okay. Now when the object is at a state of rest, it will not move on its own unless and until some external force is applied. You have learned in the last topic. Like force will have to apply to put a stationary object into a motion. So same way, to flow the charge, the force is required. To flow the charge, force is required, and then only the charge will move. Okay, we get current electricity. We get current electricity when the electrons in an electrical conductor, when the electrons, that is negatively charged particles, in an electrical conductor, that is a good conductor like copper. So the electrons, that is a negative charged particle, in the electrical conductor, that is a copper, are made to be flow. So when these electrons flow in the electric conductor, electrons, that is negative charged particles, when they flow in the electrical conductor, we get electricity. We get current electricity. So current electricity is acquired, or we get current electricity when the electrons in the electrical conductor are made to flow. So this is what about how the electric current is obtained, how the electric current is made to flow. Now we'll see about current electricity. We'll see the current electricity. How this current electricity is been produced. You can see the picture. Okay. Large current flows while lightning takes place from the cloud to the ground. During rainy season, you must have seen the lightning. So during that time, large current flows when the lightning takes place from cloud to the ground, while sensation is felt by us due to a microscopically small current flows through the brain. The current flows through the brain. Okay, you are aware about the current flowing through the wire, and due to which the electrical bulb, the equipment in the house, that is electrical equipment, they glow. So electric cells of radio or in a car battery, a current is produced by the flow of both negatively and positively charged particle. So in the electrical equipment, current is produced due to the flow of negative and positive charged particle. Flow of negative and positive charged particle. You must see the electrical bulb. That is, in that even you must have seen the other equipments like radio, car batteries. In that there is a present of electrical cell. What is present? Electrical cell. They have two charges, that is positive and negative. So in this electrical cell of a radio or in a car battery, a current is produced by the flow of both negatively and positively charged particles. Okay, that is what about current electricity. How the current electricity is produced. Now next, that is electrostatic potential. Electrostatic potential. We'll see about the electrostatic potential. See the picture which is given. You will come to know about the electrostatic potential. You know that water or any liquid flows from higher level to lower level. Water flows from higher level to lower level. Same way, heat also flows from a body at high temperature to a body at low temperature. Okay. Similarly, there is a tendency of positive charge to flow from a point of higher electrical level to a point of lower electrical level. So these electrical level deciding the direction of flow of electric charge is called as electrostatic potential. It is called as electrostatic potential. Okay, what is electrostatic potential? The electrical level or the direction of flow of electrical charge is called as electrostatic potential. Is called as electrostatic potential. Okay, next point we'll see about the potential difference. What is a potential difference? Now, similar to the height of waterfall, you can see the picture about waterfall. The temperature difference of hot and cold body, difference of temperature of hot and cold bodies, the difference between the potential of 2 points, that is potential difference, that is called as potential difference. Difference in the temperature of hot and cold body, and the difference between potential of the 2 points is nothing but the potential difference. That is difference between the temperature of hot and cold object, that is called as potential difference. Okay, now next to study this, we'll see about the activities which is given in this. That take a connecting copper wire and connect in the circuit. Take a connecting copper wire and connect in the circuit as shown in the figure. You see the figure 4.1, that is electrical circuit. Connect the wire and as shown in the figure, to that you are going to connect a bulb. No current is seen in the bulb. Can you see there is any current in the bulb? No, current do not flow. No current is seen in the bulb. Now in next step what you are going to do, to this same circuit you connect a dry cell. You connect a dry cell. Okay, and now it will be realized from glowing of the bulb. You see that bulb glows. When you connect the dry cell, you see that the bulb glows. Now it is, see that the bulb glows. Current is flowed in the circuit. What is flowed? Current is flowed in the circuit. Electron in the wire flow due to the potential difference between the two ends of the dry cell. Two ends, that is positive and negative end. These flows from negative terminal of the cell to the positive terminal of the cell. But the conventional current flows in opposite direction as shown in the figure. You can see that. Okay, by the arrow it is shown. So we learn about the electric circuit more detail in next topic. Okay, so we see that the flow of electrons takes place when there is a potential difference. When there is a dry cell is connected, the flow of current takes place in the circuit and the bulb glows. Okay, that is in figure number 4.1. You see that there is no current as there is no potential difference. As there is no potential difference, in absence of any cell, current starts to flow in the circuit. As soon as a potential difference is applied, the unit potential difference in SI system is volt. It is the unit of potential difference. Unit of potential difference in SI system is volt, written by the symbol V. Okay, so we'll see the next point, that is the question is given in a textbook. See, how can we measure water flow immersing from a pipe? We can find it from the amount of water liters coming out in the specific time period. How then is the electric current measured? We can measure the amount of water which is flowing. So how we can measure the electric current? That is we are going to see. So the electric current is measured. Electric current is measured by the amount of charge, flowing in the wire for a specific period of a time. Like we can measure the flow of water in the pipe in liters. Same way we can measure the electric current, that is by measuring the amount of charge. Electric current can be measured by measuring the amount of charge flowing in a wire for a specific period of a time. For a specific period of a time. Okay, so the electrical charge flowing through a wire in 1 second, can be called unit current. Electric charge flowing through a wire in 1 second can be called unit current. It's called as unit current. And the SI unit of electric current is coulomb per second or ampere. You can see it is given 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per 1 second, which is equal to electric current 1 ampere is equal to 1 coulomb per second. And electric current is a scalar quantity. Electric current is a scalar quantity. Okay, next point we'll see that electric cell. What is this electrical cell? A source is required to produce uniform flow of charge in a circuit. Source is required to produce a charge in the circuit. So such device in the electrical cell, such a general device is a electrical cell. The source to produce the electrical charge in a circuit is required, and such device is called as an electrical cell. Is called as an electrical cell. It is a source from where the charge is made to flow in the circuit. So such device is called as an electrical cell. It is a source from where the electron charges are flown in the circuit is called as electrical cell. You can see that various type of electrical cells are available today. It is shown you on the screen also. You must have seen in your home also. Different type of electrical cells are there. These are used in different machines, like it is used in the wristwatch to submarine. In the wristwatch up to the submarine. Out of this you must have been aware of solar cell also. That is one more type of a cell, that is a solar cell which work on the solar energy. Now the main function of these various electrical cell is to maintain constant potential difference. You know that different type of cell, size is different, shape is different, they are used in a different electronic device. Even you are aware about the solar cell. But all the cells, different type of these cells, their main function is what? To maintain constant potential difference between its two terminal. To maintain constant potential difference between its two terminal. This electrical cell work on the electric charge. They work on the electrical charge to maintain a constant potential difference. To maintain constant potential difference. So this is what about the electrical cell. Once again I'll tell you, electrical cell is a source from which the flow of charge in the circuit takes place. And there are the different type of the electrical cell. Like you must have seen about the dry cell in the radios, button shape cell which is present in the wristwatch. Submarine also there is a cell, that is dry cell, which is used in the radio. So they are the different type of the cell. Different sizes are there. Shape of this cell is also different. Okay, now out of this we are going to learn about the dry cell. What is this dry cell? Why it is called as a dry? What is its structure? Where it is used? What are the advantages? We'll see. Okay, dry cell, it is said to be dry because then the cell is constructed. The chemicals which are used in that, there is no water in that. There is no water, and so it is said to be a dry cell. Now these dry cells are used in various electronic device. For example, in a radio, in the wall clock, in the torch, these dry cells are being used. So dry cell is said to be dry because the content of water is very less or not there. Again, this dry cell is used in the radio, then it is used in the wall clock and the torch. They may be of different size, different shape, These are called as a dry cell. Now let us see the construction of this dry cell. How this dry cell is constructed, or what are the chemicals present in the dry cell. You can see the picture on the screen about the dry cell. Okay, now we'll see how to observe this dry cell. For that you have to take one dry cell. Take a lead dry cell and then remove its outer covering. You remove its outer covering. Inside you will see the whitish metal layer. When you remove the outer covering, you will see the whitish layer, and this layer is nothing but it is a zinc. That is a metal zinc layer. Now this is a negatively terminal or negative terminal of the cell. The zinc layer, which is the outer layer, that is the negative terminal of the cell. Zinc act as a negative terminal. Okay, now break open this layer. Then there is another layer inside. When you open the zinc layer, outer layer, you see another layer inside. An electrolyte is filled between. In between there is an electrolyte filled between these two layers. This electrolyte contain negatively charged and positively charged ion. The electrolyte contains negatively and positively charged ions. These are carrier of electricity. They are the carrier of electricity. Now this electrolyte is a wet pulp. It is made up of an electrolyte is made up of an wet pulp, means little amount of water is added to the compound like zinc chloride. Zinc chloride, they take the powder of zinc chloride, to that little water is added, then ammonium chloride, another compound, and there is a graphite rod at the center of the cell. You can see there is a graphite rod at the center of the cell. This graphite rod acts as a positive terminal. Pay attention, when you take the dry cell in your hand, the outer layer, that is a zinc layer, it acts as a negative terminal. When you break this, inside you see there is one more electrolyte content is present, that is made up of a compound like zinc chloride and ammonium chloride. And in the center there is a graphite rod. Black color rod you can see in the center of the cell. This rod, which is present in the center of cell, it acts as a positive terminal of the cell. It acts as a positive terminal of the cell. So question may be asked in exam. Dash act as a positive terminal. Graphite rod at the center of the cell act as a positive terminal, while zinc metal act as a negative terminal. Okay, now in between these two layers, a paste of manganese dioxide, a black color powder, is filled outside the rod. Outside that there is a manganese dioxide. Now the chemical reaction of all these chemicals takes place and electrical charge is produced on the two terminal, that is graphite rod, which act as a positive terminal, and a zinc, which act as a negative terminal, and the potential difference is maintained and electric current flows in the circuit. Okay, now due to the wet pulp used in this cell, the chemical reaction proceeds very slowly. The pulp, the chemical, the mixture which is used, it is a wet one, and so the chemical reaction which takes place, it is very slow. Hence large electrical charge cannot be obtained. Okay, we cannot obtain large electrical charge by using the dry cell compared to the electrical cell using the liquid, which is made by using the liquid. Okay, now the lifespan of this dry cell is also less compared to the other cell. Dry cells are very convenient to use as they are very light in weight and you can carry from one place to another. The place where there is no supply of electricity, there the electrical devices are made to work by using this dry cell. So that is the advantages of the dry cell. Dry cell is light in weight. You can carry it easily from one place to another place. But the disadvantage is that the lifespan of this dry cell is very less. And another thing, you cannot get large electric current. You will not obtain the large electric current. That is the disadvantage of this dry cell. disadvantage of the dry cell. But if once the charge of this dry cell is finished, you can recharge it. Nowadays you are getting advanced dry cell. If once the dry cell charging is completed, you can recharge and you can obtain and you can use it. But amount of electric current which you are going to obtain is not large like what you obtain by using the other electrical device. So we have completed with the dry cell. Hope you have understood. We have seen today about the dry cell, its construction, then about its advantage and disadvantage. Okay.